Well, good morning, my brothers and sisters, colleagues and friends. How are you doing this morning, everybody? This morning, I have the high honor and privilege to start the program. And why it is such a high honor and privilege is today we get to recognize not only all of the hard work that went into this project, but this morning we recognize our great state of New York, and we recognize the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. So, 100%. So in recognition of our great country, I would now ask you all to remove your hard hats, turn to the flag, and join me in our great nation's Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. And now I have another great high honor and privilege to introduce to you the governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul. Governor Hochul.
Good morning, and thank you, Gary. Before I talk about this amazing project and the reason we're here today, I do want to update New Yorkers on the port strike that began at 12:01 a.m. last night. I see Rick Cotton here. We were together yesterday talking about possible impacts should this occur. And for the first time in 47 years, this is a strike across all the entire eastern seaboard and the Gulf of Mexico, and therefore commerce has grown to a halt. It's an estimated that 100,000 shipping containers are literally in limbo in the port of New York and New Jersey alone. But as always, with an incredible team led by Rick Cotton and so many other dedicated professionals, we are prepared. So if Rick looks a little tired today, you'll know why. He has been working around the clock for weeks with a great team that he has. The port director, Beth Ann Rooney, I want to give her a round of applause because there's a lot of stress on our friends right now. But they're working so hard to ensure that there are absolutely minimal disruptions to New Yorkers. As I said in my briefing yesterday, we don't expect to see New Yorkers have much of an impact. It's not time to be panic buying groceries or other products because the port has worked really hard to move produce and other shipments off the containers, get them into the trucks, and get them to their destination so they can move before the strike began. And we encourage the parties to come to a speedy resolution that respects the rights of workers to have a good pay, but also allows commerce to resume quickly. So just want to say, we'll be monitoring this very closely, watching every aspect of it, making sure that New Yorkers are well taken care of, that there's no disruptions to our supply of medical support, prescriptions, food. All this are our highest priorities right now. So just had to give that announcement because we're in the throes of a crisis not too far from here right now. Let's turn to this magnificent event. As I walked through the crowds and looked in the faces of so many proud New Yorkers who are using their hands and their minds to show that we are a city, a place of great doers and dreamers. And you're looking at the doers right behind me. You know, you think from our tallest skyscrapers to the deepest subway tunnels, we see the impact of this audacity that defines New Yorkers every single day. And you think about where this impact all comes together. The creativity that went into saying we can do better at a place that is the welcome mat to the entire world here at the transformed JFK Airport, and most specifically, Terminal 6. I'm proud to have talked about this project in my first days as governor, to shepherd this through to completion, and we're almost there. And Rick, I thank you again. You are very persuasive, as is Gary. When they come to me with these projects, I'm a rookie governor, And I trusted both of you at that moment to know this is something that needed to happen and we could work together and get it done. So less than 2 years ago, we broke ground on this facility, which is the envy of the world. And I want to thank everybody who's had a major, major role in this. Rick Cotton, I'm going to say your name over and over and over because you are the embodiment of what one person can do with the team of professionals that they lead to get us to places only others have dreamed of. Let's give a huge round of applause to my friend, Rick Cotton. It's great to have the entire board here, the Port Authority board. I want to thank all of them, our great partners there as well. We also have incredible elected leaders. When I think about the people driving this from the ground, Congressman Greg Meeks and Borough President Donovan Richards have been tireless in making sure that Southeast Queens is at the table and eating a lot of food at the table. And the food, in fact, is coming from Southeast Queens, so congratulations on having such a dramatic impact. George Casey, JFK Millennium Partners, thank you, George, for continuing to believe in us, the resources to get this done. Joanna Garrity, the CEO of JetBlue. Let's give JetBlue, one of our favorite airlines, New York's hometown airline, a special shout out to her as well. Jason Kopp, the Chief Operating Officer at AECOM Hunt, and of course, the person who represents all the thousands of hardworking men and women wearing the hard hats, the one and only Gary LaBarbera. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Thank you. So, this is my fourth major event at JFK in the short time I've been governor. Between Terminal 1, Terminal 6, we have the groundbreakings, we have the topping off, we have the ribbon cuttings, and we're getting closer to completion of one of the largest transformations in our history. And being here so many times, I never get tired of it. I look forward to coming back again. But today we're here to gather to put that final piece of steel beam to top it off and to finally fulfill this long-held dream. We often talk about JFK as being the front door to the rest of the world. I've said that. Just a little bit of a history lesson. Back in 1948, President Truman stood not far from here at a dedication ceremony. It was called Idlewild. Remember? You don't remember. You're too young, Gary. Stop shaking your head. You weren't even born back then. Come on. But President Truman spoke about his vision and what this place could be. Not just a gateway to the world, but more specifically, he said, this is the gateway to the United Nations. That men and women from the far reaches of the world would land here, in this very place, this hallowed ground, in search of solutions for peace in countries all around the world. We know this. The United Nations was just here. They did land here. They came through this gateway, and President Truman's dream was fulfilled. It was a bold statement, and it remains true even then. But this isn't just about an airport. It's about our place in history and our identity as New Yorkers. As I mentioned, we have very high standards here. We expect the very best. And as I often say to my poor beleaguered staff, you may hit the bar that I raised high, and then I'm going to raise it even higher. Those are my expectations. That's what we're getting from the men and women of labor who have made this magic happen. I can never salute them enough. All of you. All of you. Thank you. Thank you for being out there in the rain and the cold and the slush and the heat and the snow, coming out day after day, leaving your families, knowing that you could actually be in danger doing some of this really critical work. And you keep showing up. You never say no. And when this is all finished, you're going to come by here with your kids and your grandkids and say, I built that because I am part of the New York story, and I have a governor who's forever grateful for that. Another round of applause for the men and women of labor, please. Terminal 6 will complete the $18 billion transformation, turn it into a 21st century global gateway. And this alone is a $4.2 billion investment in our future. And you know my favorite part? It's privately funded. I don't get to say that very often. Thank you. Thank you. And it's a testament in our confidence in ourselves. 4,000 jobs, 1,800 men and women of labor, as I've just alluded to, showing up day after day. So I just want to say thank you. We have a lot of speakers. I want to say this. Being your governor is the highest honor of my life. And to come to an event like this and to see the commitment of people who love this community, who love this state so much, that they'll go through hell and high water to make sure we get through pandemics and supply chain disruption. We'll just keep building and building and building. My friends, we have taken the image of New Yorkers as being the bold, audacious dreamers to levels that others could never have dreamed of. And to be able to be governor at this moment in history is something I'm proud of. I'm proud of every one of you who've made this happen here today. We're going to continue hiring into the communities. Southeast Queens is going to keep sending workers and contracts and making sure that we support this. And we'll never overlook our neighbors. Never overlook. That happens at too many airports around America. You forget the people who live right outside the doorstep, who have to put up with the disruption and the noise and the commotion. We are here to celebrate you as well. And making sure that we had MWE participation, 30%. 30% MWE transfer, and I have seen people's lives change because they can get one of those contracts. We set a record for the largest MWE participation in any project in our state history. This is the project. This is it. 2.3 billion in contracts have been awarded to firms and contractors. Creative Construction Services in Cambridge Heights, Jetway Security in Jamaica. Projects like these, I mean, people can take care of their families and hire more people. It has a ripple effect way beyond the confines of this airport. So when it's all done, it'll be beautiful. I don't want just an ordinary airport. I want people to have their jaws drop and say, it's gorgeous. Natural light coming and soaring ceilings that'll let us see the heavens. This is what we're talking about. This is what we achieved at the other airport, right, Rick? And it's going to be a sanctuary of calm against the hassle of travel. And the food's going to be amazing. It's my last point. People are going to say, where are you making reservations? I'm going to JFK Airport for dinner tonight. This is my expectation. DeFara Pizza, David Chang's Fuku, Brooklyn Blend. I mean, these are just a couple of the names. We can't build the places fast enough because people want to be here. So this is not just for our travelers, it's for us. It's for us. And so we've seen record-breaking passenger volumes. We're going to continue breaking records, and I'm so excited. Again, you can tell I'm excited. I mean, I'm having trouble containing this because I love what we're doing here. I love to build. I like to make things happen. And I just want New Yorkers to believe again. We are an exceptional place. Exceptional things happen under our watch and our leadership, and all of you here today are part of that magnificent New York story. Thank you, congratulations. Look forward to the ribbon cutting. Thank you, everybody.
Good morning. This is really a great day. Our ambition from the beginning of our building projects at the three major airports, New York and New Jersey, was to build world-class airports. And exhibit number 1 here is Terminal 6. I want to begin by thanking the governor. Governor, without your support for this truly historic project, your commitment to JFK was crucial during the very difficult time immediately after the pandemic when we had to redo all these deals. Your support has been crucial as we successfully put those deals back together across the entire airport system, but in particular in terms of Terminal 6 at JFK. And today, less than 2 years, you noted this, less than 2 years after you helped celebrate the groundbreaking for new Terminal 6. We're again here to celebrate as the final piece of structural steel is lifted into place. Real progress, real milestone, real moving forward. It is not just talk. We are building world-class airports, and Terminal 6 will be a world-class terminal. Governor has thanked many people, but I have to thank our private partners in particular. And I also want to note the fact that we're grateful for the fact that the vice chairman of our board, Jeff Linford, is here. Gary LaBarbera, who has been introduced for his leadership role in the building trades as a member of the Port Authority Board. Gary, thank you for being here and helping us celebrate. And Commissioner Lisa Eve is also here. Thank you. But I also want to thank our partners at JFK Millennium Partners. The governor's taken note that this terminal is being paid for entirely with private financing. George Casey, CEO of Vantage Partners, thank you. Bill Thompson, owner and senior advisor at American III, thank you. Joanne Garrity, CEO of JetBlue. Steve Thody, CEO of JMP, thank you. And Jason Kopp, Chief Operating Officer and EVP of AECOM Hunt, thank you. But as the governor has noted, the real thanks, the day-to-day thanks, goes to the members of organized labor who are here, who come out day after day, and who actually build the terminals that we're going to be so proud of. I want to thank very, very much for long hours staff at the Port Authority: Derek Utter, Jim Heitman, Charles Everett, Libby McCarthy, Amy Fisher, Jessica Forrest, Terry Rizzuto, Jackie McCarthy. Without your leadership, your energy, your long hours, as well as the rest of the Port Authority staff, we would not be here today. And to our elected officials, and this is very serious, said from the heart, without the support of the community surrounding our facilities, there is simply no way these projects could take place. And JFK is a particular example. Back in the dark days as we came out of COVID, we needed the support of the city, we needed the support of our elected officials, and they came and provided that support. And in particular, I want to thank and call out the co-chairs of the JFK Community Advisory Council, co-chairs Congressman Gregory Meeks and Queensboro President Donovan Richards. And we are used to the thank yous that begin each program. But in this case, I need to underline the fact that without Congressman Meeks and without Borough President Richards, this project would not have been able to go forward. And I'd also like to ask the members of the JFK Community Advisory Committee who are here today to stand up and receive a round of applause. As the governor noted, this project has awarded more than $2.3 billion of minority and women-owned business enterprise contracts. That has never happened before in the history of New York State, and I do not believe that it has ever happened before in any construction project around this country. We are committed to providing business opportunities. We're committed to providing capacity building skills. We're committed to support professional services, MWBE professional services, and we're committed to provide business opportunities. We're creating opportunities for local and diverse businesses to join the airport's roster of retail and dining options. And last month, with our partners at JMP, we announced awards to 12 local and diverse businesses that were selected to participate at Terminal 6. And we will add more in the near future. Throughout our effort, we're connecting residents from nearby communities with jobs, and we've also worked hard to reduce the impact of construction activities on the community. We have built a concrete plant on the airport to get concrete cement trucks out of the community. We are bringing in new construction materials, and we are getting rid of construction waste by barge. We believe we have reduced what otherwise would have been 300,000 truck trips over local streets, and we are committed to continue to do that throughout the project. The transformation of JFK is a project that many said could not be done. But just as we have done at LaGuardia, we are proving the naysayers wrong. And again, I want to emphasize the Port Authority is driving investment of more than $30 billion across all our airports and more than $20 billion here at JFK. Our goal is to create new passenger facilities that are among the best in the world and to the standard of five-star terminals from Skytrax, which is the leading airport rating service in the world. We're confident that with our partners, Terminal 6 will soon become, when it opens its doors, a five-star terminal. When we are done, the name JFK International Airport will once again rank with the best in the world. The new JFK will be the global gateway our region deserves. Thank you. I'd now like to bring to the stage the aforementioned Congressman Gregory Meeks. Congressman Meeks, without your efforts, your support, your guidance, we not only wouldn't be here today, but the community benefits that you and Queensborough President Donovan Richards have championed would not be flowing to the community. So thank you, and I invite you to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. It is indeed a good morning. I am so happy and so delighted to be here with all of you today on this great day. And I know people have been thanked, but I could not start without thanking a number of folks. And first, of course, the governor of this great state of New York, Governor Hochul. Thank you. And Rick, you leading this project, you know, this becomes very special to me because I can remember when I had all black hair and I first got elected to the United States Congress. And Philippa and Jim, one of the first things that we had to deal with was JFK Airport. The question of whether or not we were going to take a bold step forward and have a light rail train connecting the airport, going to downtown Jamaica. It was controversial at the time. And the question was whether the community was going to be incorporated and part of it. And Jim and Philippa was working very hard to make sure at that time because some of the relationship that we had with the Port Authority at that time was not the best. But I gotta tell you, as things progressed, as we moved on, and as Rick Cotton came aboard, when we started talking about this airport, Rick Cotton and the Port Authority, I want to thank you because you bought in to community all the way. That's why we created the Community Advisory Council, who stood. But I gotta tell you, it would not still have happened but for my colleagues in government. When I look at my Councilwoman Savinia Brooks Powers, Assemblyman Bunnell, Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, thank you. And all of my colleagues that are not here We work as a team. We work collectively together. They chair all of the committees that are on this advisory board to make sure that the community's voices are heard and we can work at every legislative level. City Council, State Assembly, State Senate, U.S. Congress, and of course my partner, the borough president of this great borough, Donovan Richards. And what this is all about is innovative, because I've got to thank George Casey and Vantage for being a partner and talking and working and trying to make sure that we get certain things done. And of course, JetBlue. And of course, ACOM Hunt. But I got to give a special thanks. And here's what we talked about at the time, Rick. Because we wanted to make sure, number one, as you look at the workers that work here, that they all look like the people who live here. And when you think about New York, we are the most diverse borough of any borough in the country. So we wanted to make, where's Gary LaBarber? Gary, we want to say thank you to Gary for focusing and working and putting an agreement together, a labor community agreement, to make sure that the workers were getting paid a wage that they deserve and earn. And then not only that, ownership. Ownership, Rick. Because for a long period of time, when you're talking about creating wealth, individuals don't have the opportunity to participate in it. And at this great terminal number 6, Bill Thompson, thank you. And your group, they became equity partners, putting up their money and making sure that the project is doing the right thing. We would not be here without you and your participation. Thank you, Bill Thompson. So let me just close on this. When you look at this project, and you look at the construction, and you look at the money that's being spent, and I know the brother president always says it, Queens gets the money, but it's bigger than that. It's about sharing in this prosperity. It's about making this country a better place. And it's about showing an example right here where we live. I had the opportunity as the former chair and now ranking member on the House Foreign Affairs Committee to travel the world. I've gone from airport to airport. And at times, I talk to people and I ask, what about coming through New York, through JFK? And there was a time where individuals would say, we tried to avoid going through JFK. But with the $18 billion that's being invested, and starting right here at Terminal 6, I will tell you, dreams are turning into reality, where folks will say, I want to come to the United States of America, and I want to come through JFK Airport, and I'll be able to go to, because there's been some agreements already when the governor was talking about food, through the concession stands, where you will be able to get food that will be cooked and delivered by people from this community, and food from all tastes all over the world. This is how you make progress. And I close because my colleagues around the world, but especially my colleagues in Washington, D.C., they are observing what we're doing here today. Because this is not any ordinary deal. A public-private partnership shows that when we work and put ourselves together, we can make things happen. They're looking, and I gotta tell you, members from all over the country come to me and say, show me, can I see the plan that you all have utilized to develop JFK Airport? Can I see how you work together with organized labor? You work together with the private sector. You work together with the local elected officials. You work together with the community. We need to see it because we want to copy and duplicate this program, this building, this construction all over these United States of America. So I thank each and every one of you for being here, for participating, because this is the gateway to New York. This is the gateway to the United States of America. This is how we want folks to enter to the greatest country that this planet has ever seen. Thank each and every one of you, because it would not have happened without each and every one of you coming together, staying together, fighting together to make this happen. It is now my distinct honor and privilege and pleasure to introduce a young man who came to the helm of this great borough and a partner with me out of the box, as he always does, on how we can make sure that we are building and building so that the community is involved in its entirety. And he's always speaks up, fights, stands up. And that's why I'm glad he is my partner here and my partner in government, our borough president, the Honorable Donovan Richards.
Well, if you need a hype man, you hire Congressmember Gregory Meeks, clearly. But let me thank you, Congressmember. Let's give it up for Congressmember Gregory Meeks. I remember taking office in 2020, and the first meeting we had was on how do we get this project moving and how do we keep JetBlue grounded in Queens, of course. I didn't get to church yet a Sunday, but there is a saying in the church, may the last be the first. And this airport is really going to take off and be #1 in the world. And that's because of you. So what a historic morning we find ourselves in, of course, in the world's borough. Now, it's not every day you can wake up and talk about the creation of 4,000 jobs on one project. This is really a historic moment for our borough. But as Gary LaBrava and I often talk about, we're not just looking for any jobs in Queens County. We are a union town in Queens County, so I want to thank labor for making this possible. Y'all can clap for that. Of course, to Governor Hochul, to Rick Cotton. Now, Greg said his hair was black when he was in Congress. Your hair was black when we began this process. And I ain't got no hair left. So I want to thank all of y'all for the partnership and leadership in getting this done, because without each and every one of you, this grand idea of reimagining what JFK can be would just simply being an idea. But you all have helped shape and make this a reality, and Queens thanks you. And of course, I once again want to point out the JFK Redevelopment Council. Thank you all. To my colleagues in government, thank you. Iron sharpens iron, and this would not be possible without you. JFK Millennium Partners, thank you for making this happen as well. Of course, to the union workers I spoke to, who have built this terminal with your own two hands. This borough is eternally grateful to each and every one of you. This is what you call a legacy project. This project will outlive each and every one of us. You are the fuel that will make this economic engine run, and we will always have your back. So last year around this time, as the governor spoke to, we stood here and we were talking about what our vision is for this airport. 4,000 jobs created, including 1,800 union jobs, 30% MWBE procurement, countless new concession opportunities for Queens-based businesses. You are literally going to be able to get a taste of Queens at JFK Airport. But more importantly, that business is for us and by us. So I could not be prouder of all of the concessionaires who come from this community who will lead the way. We're talking about 10 new gates across 1.2 million square feet, all rooted in sustainable development. So this afternoon, I'm reminded of the power of advocacy, the power of community, the power of true public and private partnerships. I'm reminded of the push of so many of us in this room to make sure that this $19 billion redevelopment not only benefits the people who fly through JFK, but the people who live down the block from America's crossroads. The aviation industry supports tens of thousands of jobs. We all know it's the linchpin of our city's economy, and our airports are the gateways to our region. But we need it to be a linchpin for our borough first and foremost. And that's why collectively, with our colleagues and with my co-chair, Gregory Meeks, we push for higher standards. Yes, this should be the norm. Local hiring should be a part of any major economic development project. There's a big difference between economic development and community development. This is what you call community development. We are not simply looking for contact with the airport. Our community deserves contracts at the airport, and that's what we're fulfilling today. So I couldn't be prouder to be here, support this project, to continue to work with our colleagues. We've set a state record, by the way, with $2.3 billion in contracts awarded to MWBE firms. Let's clap for that. And let's clap for $1 billion in contracts that have gone to Queens-based businesses. Queens, get the money. So we're putting thousands of our residents to work, and at the end of the day, those who deal with the plane noise, traffic, and construction should be first in line to access the promise and the potential this project brings. Today we make history, but there's so much more work to do with my colleagues. Today, JFK, of course, takes flight. Queens takes flight. Let's go Mets. Now, forgot my job. I was ready to take flight. It gives me great honor to bring up somebody who's been a firm partner, and I could not be more grateful, and I don't say this lightly, to bring up George Casey, representing JFK Millennial Partners, who have put the P in partnership in Queens County. This is now yours.
Wow. Well, good morning. Maybe I should just say ditto and get off the stage. But look, I'm really proud to be here, but a lot of thank yous for all of you that are participating in the project, but especially from the private developer and partner in this very, very important project. So again, good morning. Thank you, Donovan. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you, Governor Hochul. Thank you, Congressman Meeks, for your dedicated support, other elected officials, member of CAC, commissioners from the board, Rick, of course, Gary, thank you, Joanna for your airline partnership, Jason for your construction partnership, and the many, many valued partners and team members here today, along with our JFK airport partners that are adjacent to the project. So we're glad you're all here. And I'll reiterate, as board chair of JFK Millennium Partners and chair and CEO of Vantage Group, I am proud to be here today celebrating this important construction milestone at JFK Terminal 6. This is the latest step in our journey that we've been on since the JMP team was selected by the Port Authority and JetBlue to deliver a brand new Terminal 6 in 2018. This historic $4.2 billion terminal will offer 1.2 million square feet, 10 spacious gates, 10,000 square feet of world-class amenities, custom artwork and architecture, state-of-the-art digital technology, and sustainable operations. Now, it's really hard to overstate just how ambitious, complex, and challenging an undertaking of this scale and scope truly is. So many people have played a part in advancing this ambitious and exciting transformation, From a bold vision to today's active development, from the early days of engagement with the Port Authority, through financial close and to the start of operations at JFK Terminal 7 next door, to breaking ground on T6 right here nearly 2 years ago. Thank you to the Vantage and JMP team, led by CEO Steve Thode. Together with the Port, they have delivered today's Milestone event. Thank you very, very much. And as always, thank you to Rick Cotton and all the Port Authority colleagues for your leadership in the revitalization of New York's airports. Thank you to our JMP partners, including JetBlue, InvestCorp Corsair, American III, represented by Bill Thompson. Thank you very much, Bill, for your constant support. John Hancock, Fortress, and RXR for their continued support and leadership. But today, it is really important, along with our JMP project delivery team, the biggest thank you goes to the hundreds of skilled women and men who are building this incredible new terminal, whose expertise and focus on safety and delivery we acknowledge and celebrate today with the placement of the final steel beam in this first phase of construction. A big round of applause to those people that make it happen. Thank you. Up to 900 of them, of those construction professionals, are here on site every day. And this weekend, they implemented and put in the Oculus, very complex circular structure that will give us natural light into the building, which was put in precisely in the building behind us. Thank you to our design build partners, AECOM Hunt, Corrigan, and the many companies and local professionals, each delivering critical pieces of the new T6. Now, as we look towards the future, we're also joined here today by many partners who will make their homes in the new terminal beginning in 2026 when the first gates open. That includes airline partners like Lufthansa Group, represented by Arthur Mullins. Your birthday today, Arthur. Happy birthday. Cathay Group, Aer Lingus, and also fantastic local and diverse businesses that will be operating concessions that deliver a truly New York-inspired sense of place. A group of exceptionally talented artists whose custom works will grace Terminal 6, inspiring visitors and locals alike. With the talent and commitment of every person involved in this transformation, from initial investment through complex construction, all the way to day-to-day terminal operations, together we're delivering an extraordinary airport terminal. One that will, as echoed by previous speakers, one that will provide significant benefits to the local community, transform the guest experience, and help bring to life Governor Hochul's vision for a whole new JFK. And as Congressman Meeks said, a modern, world-class international gateway for the 21st century that New York deserves and will be proud of. So with that, I'll end by welcoming our airline partner since 2018. Thank you for entrusting us with this project. Someone most of you know, Joanna Garrity, JetBlue's Chief Executive Officer, to say a few words. So Joanna.
Good morning, everyone. It's such an honor to be here today as we celebrate this key milestone in the construction of JFK's Terminal 6. First, I want to take a moment to thank the hundreds, or there were hundreds, of construction workers that are here today, as well as the trade, gathered to celebrate their hard work. This would not be possible but for what they do every single day, making this world-class terminal a reality. And a very special thanks to Governor Hochul, Rick Cotton, and his team at the Port Authority, our proud partners, the Vantage Group, American III, and RXR, Congressman Meeks, Queensborough President Donovan, Councilwoman Sylvina Powers, and Assemblywoman Alicia Heidman, as well as our friends from the local community, Queens. We are your hometown airline, and we love being here, and all of our amazing local officials. I'd also like to recognize JetBlue's 23,000 crew members across our network. They play a vital role in coordinating this project and this partnership. JetBlue's history is deeply rooted here at JFK and in New York City. Almost 25 years ago, we launched our very first flight right here on this property to upstate New York. Today, we remain the only passenger airline to call New York City and to call New York State its home. JFK is more than our largest airport, with nearly 7,000 crew members based here and nearly 9,000 across this state. We are committed more than ever to supporting New York City and New York State and New Yorkers with pride. The construction of Terminal 6 represents more than just a building. It symbolizes growth, opportunity, and a forward-looking investment in the future of air travel, not only addressing the needs of today, but anticipating tomorrow's needs. With a seamless connection between Terminal 6 and JetBlue's Terminal 5, we'll be able to expand our footprint and create exciting opportunities for our customers and our partner airlines. When we opened Terminal 5 in 2008, it set a new standard for airport terminals. We're excited that Terminal 6 will rise again, and we look forward to continuing to invest in and refresh our Terminal 5 over the next 2 years to ensure these two terminals live up to the governor's master plan for JFK. In 2025, we'll be unveiling our first ever customer lounge at Terminal 5 and undertaking the first phase of our terminal refresh. As part of this effort, coming in the first half of 2024, we'll be introducing new concessions featuring many local brands that New Yorkers love, along with upgraded spaces designed to elevate the customer experience. When completed, Terminal 6 will be a perfect complement to Terminal 5, offering 100,000 square feet of world-class shopping and dining with an emphasis on local businesses and an authentic New York flavor. These are very, very powerful investments in Queens and the local economy, and will open the doors for more minority and women-owned businesses to participate in this transformative development. Terminal 6 will be a vital part of JetBlue's Jet Forward strategy, and your work provides the infrastructure that we need to meet the evolving needs of our customers and our crew members. As we look, this is not just about building a terminal. We are investing in a gateway worthy of New York City, and one that will play a role in the region's economic success, tourism, and a role as the epicenter of culture and commerce in New York and in the United States. Today, we celebrate more than just progress. We celebrate the partnerships, the community, and the shared vision that makes all of this possible. To all those who have played a role in this, I will say it again, thank you for your dedication, your hard work, and your belief in what we can achieve together. We are excited for what lies ahead and look forward to welcoming you to this world-class terminal in the years to come. At JetBlue and at JFK, the future is very bright. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jason Kopp, who's responsible for constructing and designing this entire terminal. Jason.
Good morning, everyone. So, first of all, I'd like to thank people that made this happen. I think their names have been said a lot so far, but we'd like to thank the relationship and the opportunities that we've got with Rick Cotton, Kevin O'Toole, Congressman Meeks, Borough President Donovan Richards, Gary LaBarbera, the JFK redevelopment team, the JFK Millennium partners, and everyone's continued support on this historic project. It takes so much to do this, and the hours that all of these folks have put into making this happen are probably not really recognized, and for that they should all be commended. It should also be go without saying the support of Governor Hochul, and she should be commended for all the commitment that she had to making sure that this project was a reality. I really love the topping out. Ribbon cutting, those are exciting, but the topping out to me is really this opportunity when we get to acknowledge the efforts of the trades workers that have gone into place to get to this part. It's a monumental milestone because someone mentioned, boy, these things go so fast. Not always, right? Sometimes it looks like it takes a while to get out of the ground, but here at this stage, this milestone, when we set the last beam, says we're on the home stretch. And soon enough, this project will be complete and we'll all be able to use this fantastic facility. So I think we should all give it a hand again to all of those trades workers and the countless hours that they've put in place. It also should go without saying that this represents the very best of New York and what New Yorkers have to offer. This relentless drive to set new standards and the unwavering commitment to welcoming people of all cultures, backgrounds to our country. We support the efforts that have taken place to make sure, as it was noted, that the folks working on this project represent and look like the people that live here. We're really proud to have an opportunity to play a role in significantly improving the way that we live and the way we work and the way we travel. We have this unique opportunity in what we do to be part of building these fantastic facilities. And as someone also said earlier, we get to say, we built that. That's the pride that we take as a contractor and the trades workers, that we get to drive our families by and we get to note and say, we built that. So we're certainly very excited to have that opportunity. Since we broke ground in January 23, the 900 construction workers that are here today put in more than 2 million hours of hard work, from resolution of the old utilities and the fuel lines to the outstanding structure that you see behind me. It was mentioned this is a 1.2 million square foot facility. There's also a very unique, difficult 3-level roadway system that's spanning 2.6 miles that's being built without disrupting the current airport activity in the air train itself. While it may take a little time to get around the facility, it is being constructed in a way that's allowing people to move. So with this new terminal and other improvements, I think what we're doing here and what your support is you're giving New Yorkers the transportation system they need and they deserve. As we all know, New York City is the greatest city in the world, and together we're proving again why that remains true today and tomorrow. Thank you. So I get to announce our partner in trades, Mr. Gary LaBarbera. Without all of his support, this would never happen. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, everybody, I'm here to wrap this show up and to get a raise a beam. So let me just say a few words, and it is a day of thanks. I want to thank, obviously, our private sector partners, but most of all, I want to thank Governor Hochul for her commitment, steadfast commitment to making this project a reality. Have to acknowledge the executive director of the Port Authority, Rick Cotton, our representative from the Congress, Gregory Meeks, our borough president, Donovan Richard, and again, all of our private sector partners. But most of all, for me today, I want to recognize the men and women of the building trades who have actually built what you're looking at here. You've all heard from every speaker that today is a day to recognize the hard work, skill, dedication of what we do in the building trades. The finest skilled men and women anywhere in North America are right here in the great state of New York. So let's one more time acknowledge all the hardworking men and women of the building trades. And my closing message is everyone that spoke today, every partner involved in this, from the governor on down to trade contractors, the Port Authority, first priority is the safety of the men and women who work on this project. So please, what we all want is for you to be safe every day, keep your eyes open, follow the safety protocols, because we all want you to go home to your families at the end of the day. Construction is the most dangerous industry, and that's why we have to have the training we have to make sure and ensure that our members, our workers, and all personnel on a job site remain safe. So congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to the trades. God bless all of you, and God bless America, the greatest country in the world. Now let's go raise that beam.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to step outside the tent, the beam will go up in a short minute. Please keep clear of the beam for your safety. The beam, and then we'll go. It's live. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in the rising of the beam. I talk over that? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending the rising of the beam. Give a round of applause to our steel workers. Please join us in the tent for some light refreshments. Thank you all for attending the JFK Terminal 6 topping out today.